All right, testing audio. Testing the audio. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, awesome. So yeah, I'm in a different spot. As you can see, I had to leave my studio, and I connected. I have a very short Ethernet cable, so I could connect my computer actually directly to my router this time. So we shouldn't have any of the issues with the Wi-Fi, and it's already looking much better. I should have done this a long time ago. I was determined to get it to work in my regular studio setup, but that's okay. We're here. And you know what? This is kind of a nice change of pace, I think. It's kind of, I'm so glad some of you guys are still here. We've lost a lot of my regular viewers, it looks like. And that's totally understandable, because I don't blame you guys, anybody that got impatient with, this is like the 6th time we've done this. So for the people that are here, I appreciate your support. Thanks for being here. But yeah, this is episode 23 of Coaster Cafe, obviously. Drinking one of my recent favorites that I've had many times, the Atomic Coffee Roasters Rocketeer Blend. So yeah, how you guys doing today? Thank you. If you are interested in all at purchasing your own mug, I do have a Teespring store. You can find the link at my channel. So they're pretty affordable. They're like $12. So yeah, if you're interested. So, all right, let's, Stanford Bridge. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I can't believe anybody would, want to donate anything after going through that, all of that. But thank you guys so much. You guys are the best, for real. I really appreciate it. So yeah, let's just hang out and chat while we get a few more people in here, because there's not a whole lot of people in here yet. About 6 people, it looks like. So let's see if Stanford Bridge says, I still appreciate your opening remarks from last week. Tired of too many jerks out there online. Yeah, I am too. I'm very, very over it. But thank you for that. Yeah, it's just something I had to say, I needed to say something about it. And hopefully it maybe got through to some people, who weren't really understanding the breadth of what's going on. But, I just had to say something about it. So, all right, guys. So I've read through the news many times, whether you heard me or not. I've read through the news many times. So I'm going to go through the list real quick, and we can talk about any kind of news you guys might want to discuss, since we haven't really gotten a chance to discuss it yet. So what's going on in the amusement park roller coaster world? Well, we have a lot of park reopenings, first of all. And I'll get to some of those. I'm not going to list all of them, because this isn't, if I just did a comprehensive list of everything, like, there's just way too much info. And I'm sure a lot of you guys know that info already, and you guys can look all this up for yourself. But I'll go over some of the main pieces of information. But anyway, what's going on? Hershey's Chocolate World is now open at Hershey Park. Latte World South Korea closed after an infected guest visited the park. They were supposed to reopen this past Tuesday. I don't know if they ever did or not. I'm not sure about that. Black Mirror Labyrinth, the new attraction at Thorpe Park that was supposed to be for this year, is delayed to 2021. Disney World's Magic Kingdom has resumed construction, which is really good to hear. Hong Kong Disneyland has track on site for the new coaster in their new Frozen section. It looks like it's going to be a Vekoma. It's going to be called Wandering Oaken's Sliding Sleighs. And based on the concept art I seen for this ride a while back, it looks like some sort of mine train. You know, Disney loves their mine trains, and they do great with them, of course. Riddler Mindbender at Six Flags Over Georgia is not opening until 2021. So that's unfortunate. One of the best rides in the park. Worlds of Fun is opening to pass holders on June 22nd, but no date is set for regular tickets yet. Wild Adventures is also opening in June. And then for July openings, we have some parks like Kennywood, Idlewild, Lake Compounce, Cedar Point, and Kings Island. So there's a lot of stipulations with those opening dates. Different parks require different things, different measures they're taking. They have different opening dates, and a lot of them are opening for pass holders first, and then on a different date for the general public. So I'd encourage you guys to just, if you're not aware of the opening dates and whatnot, just go look at the information for yourself, because there's a lot of info out there. I can't cover it all right here. So yeah. Yeah, I can't wait either. I can't wait to get back on one for sure. Rings of Earth says, will you stream from here from now on? I like it. You know, I kind of like the change of pace too. I kind of like doing this in a way. What do you guys think about this setup? Maybe I'll do it whenever I can. I can't promise I'll be able to stream from here all the time, but if it becomes a real issue like it has been today, maybe I should just stream out here all the time. This setup isn't as convenient because I had to actually move things around to get my computer close enough to the router to be able to plug it in, because the cable I have is only about 3 feet long. But yeah, I mean, yes, let me know what you guys think. You hear the wind chimes. Okay. I hope it's not too overbearing. I know this lapel mic picks up a lot of background noise, unlike my actual studio microphone I have. So, all right. I hope you guys are cool with the wind chimes. RMC the wind chime. I can see it from here too, out my window there. Oh, okay. An atmospheric wind chime noise. Okay. Yeah, I know this, you know, like I said, this microphone picks up a lot more background noise than my really nice Audio-Technica microphone. So, you know, it's a change of pace, change of scenery. Just, it's a different kind of show this week, but I'm glad I'm able to bring it to you guys, the few people that are still here after all. Any other kind of news you guys want to go over? Anything that I missed? I know, you know, sometimes I do miss and forget to include certain important things going on. Anything besides park openings? We know a lot of parks are opening up, but anything besides that you guys want to talk about? I know there's not really a whole lot going on besides that. Oh yeah, Arnold's Park in Iowa they're reclosed apparently. Apparently there's spikes now in cases around there, and Arnold's Park is closed again temporarily. So hopefully that doesn't become a common trend in the industry. I know people have suggested that before, and honestly, I didn't really think that would happen, but it happened with Arnold's Park, which is in Iowa. So I've never been to Silver Dollar City, so I have not ridden Outlaw Run, unfortunately. RMC Woodstock Express, which one? The one at Cedar Point? That Vekoma Kitty coaster? Oh, new coaster at Futuroscope opened today. It looks awesome. I'll have to look that up. Stanford Bridge says, I'm starting to accept that I may not have any coaster trip after all this year. So many plans, but all hitting a wall. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. For myself, I'm hoping to still get to at least a couple new parks. Like, I might try to get to, like, Indiana Beach, possibly, like, Kentucky Kingdom, maybe Holiday World for Hollywood Nights, possibly. But all of those, none of those plans are set in stone. So hopefully I get to at least a couple new parks. At least if I got to 1 or 2 new parks this year, I'd consider it a success. If I can get to 3, that'll be amazing. But we'll see what happens. I have no set in stone plans. It's so hard to plan ahead this year. It's almost impossible. So. Oh, spinning Intamin multi-launch coaster with great theming. Okay, I have to check that out. Let me look that up here on RCDB. Futuroscope coaster. All right, we have Objectif Mars. Okay. I remember looking at concept pictures of this. That looks awesome. That is a really cool looking ride. They're like, Intamin is really taking a page out of Mach's book, I think. Out of Mach's playbook. They're like, a POV. Okay, yeah, I'll have to check the POV out. We have not done trivia yet, no. The show started just a little over 11 minutes ago, so... Let's see. Stanford Bridge says, do you have a favorite Woodstock Express? The first one I rode was at King's Dominion, and at that time, I had no idea a junior coaster could be so much fun. The Carowinds one is great, too. Out of all of the Woodstock Expresses that I rode, I liked... Well, the Kings Island one I rode once in 2007. I haven't ridden it since then. I rode the Kings Island one once in 2007. I remember having fun on it, though. And then last year, I rode the one at King's Dominion and the one at Carowinds, both one time. And I preferred the Carowinds one just a little bit more personally. And the reason I say that is because I recall getting one tiny pop of airtime. But it was a very, very small difference. Yeah, the Dorney one isn't a Woody, and neither is the Cedar Point one. Cedar Point has the Vekoma Junior coaster. That's Woodstock Express. Yeah, so those are fun little family wooden coasters, though, you know. I much prefer Comet at Waldameer, which is kind of a similar old-school wooden coaster, but it's much better and actually has some decent pops of airtime. I have a much more fun experience on Comet at Waldameer. I actually love that ride. So if you guys ever go to Waldameer, do not skip out on Comet. It's a really good classic family wooden coaster, opened in 1951, and it's a really fun ride, really. It has buzz bars too, so, which I think the Woodstock Express has had buzz bars, but my opinion, not nearly as good as Comet. Comet goes through the trees. It kind of has a small ravine it's built into, so it's a really cool ride. It had the old handbrakes until 2013 too. Now it has magnetic brakes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, she needs to take you to all those parks. Yeah, definitely. All right, what do you guys think? Yeah, definitely ride Comet. What do you guys think? Should we do trivia now? You guys ready for trivia? Anything... Any other important updates from the industry you guys want to discuss before we move on? Yeah, a lot of coasters called Comet are pretty good, yeah. They look pretty good, I should say. I haven't ridden a lot of them. I think I've only ridden 1 or 2 called Comet, but... G-Money Coaster says, I'm pumped for Orion. Do you think it'll be better than Leviathan? Well, I think Orion looks great. I think Leviathan looks great and actually really underrated. So I think there's a possibility that Orion could be better than Leviathan, but I think it's kind of hard to determine that, especially since I haven't been on Leviathan. I can't accurately judge Leviathan as a ride, but I think Orion may have a chance at being slightly better than Leviathan. But for some reason, I feel like Leviathan might still be a more powerhouse of a ride. It seems like it'll be more intense, and it's more focused on the speed. You know, one thing about Orion is, even though I've stuck up for the ride a lot, I do kind of wish they would have focused a little less on the airtime moments and more on low to the ground twists and turns like Leviathan. But, you know, it still looks like an amazing ride, and it might be better than Leviathan. I don't know. I'm sure it's probably not going to be better than Fury 325 either. But you never know. I mean, I haven't ridden Leviathan. I might like Leviathan better than Fury. I know some people do, and Leviathan looks like an underrated ride, in my opinion. Like I said, I haven't ridden it. Yeah, Leviathan gets knocked just for not being Fury, exactly. And it's not that big of a difference when you look at the height and speed. I mean, the length, yeah. Fury's a really long ride, but true, yeah, good point. It's a space theme, so the airtime fits with Orion. That is a good point. I never really thought of that. It's just that they have Diamondback in the same park, and I'm sure Orion's not going to have nearly as much airtime as Diamondback, but you know, for a lot of the general public, they're going to kind of look at it and be like, this is a lot like Diamondback. So I don't know. It's a nitpick. I'm really excited for Orion, though. Hopefully I get to ride it in less than a month. So we'll see. Yeah, the brake run. It's meme-worthy. That's a meme-worthy brake run for sure. All right, guys. We're going to do trivia now. Are you guys ready for trivia? Yeah, Shambhala does look better than Orion and Leviathan. I agree. Haven't been on any of them, though. All right, time for trivia. Let's do trivia. First question. There are two Vekoma boomerangs in New England. One at Lake Compounce and one at Six Flags New England. What are each of their names? And which one opened first at their current park? So the two boomerangs in New England, the two standard boomerangs, Six Flags New England and Lake Compounce. What are their names? Which one opened first at its respective park? Pay attention. At its park, which one opened first? And what are their names? Yeah, Zoomerang is one. That's at Lake Compounce. And Flashback, that's at Six Flags New England. Yep, you guys got it. I knew you guys got this. Okay, which one opened first at the park? Not in its original location, but at the park. Yes, Zoomerang did open first in 1997 at Lake Compounce. However, you know, like I said, at its respective park, Flashback at Six Flags New England actually dates back to 1985. Flashback actually operated at Star Lake Amusement Park in the year 1985, and then it was at Kentucky Kingdom as Vampire. It was at Kentucky Kingdom as Vampire from 1990 to 1999. So even though the Lake Compounce one opened first at Lake Compounce, the Six Flags New England one dates back much further. It's actually one of the very first boomerangs. So yeah, but I'll link you guys here to the New England one just because it's much more interesting than the Lake Compounce one. If you guys even want to look at this, you can see where it was originally, the two parks it was at. Of course, one being Kentucky Kingdom. There's no pictures on RCDB of it at Star Lake Amusement Park, which that's a park that was in Guangdong, China. Oh, I talked about another park in Guangdong, China in the trivia on the last episode, I believe it was. That's cool. That was not intended. Yes, okay. All right, let's get to our second question now. Question number 2. This I like this question. This is one that was submitted to me. Actually, the first one was as well submitted to me a while back. This one was also submitted a while back in my Discord, in the trivia group. So this one is, there is a clone of the Premier Rides launched coaster Mr. Freeze in Indonesia. What is it called and what park is it at? So a clone of Mr. Freeze in Indonesia, the Premier Rides launch coaster. What is it called? What park is it at? Clone of Mr. Freeze. Looking for the name of the coaster, the name of the park that it's at in Indonesia. It opened in 2011, by the way, so it's much newer than the Mr. Freeze rides. Okay, yeah, it's a second-gen version. It's basically a clone. It's very similar. Yeah, you're right. It's not exactly the same. I don't know what all the differences are, but it is modified. But it's pretty much Mr. Freeze. So, yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Yes, it's not an exact clone. All right, so it's called Racing Coaster, and it's at a park called Trans Studio Indoor Theme Park. So yeah, it's like the name of the park says, it's an indoor theme park. There's a link to it right there. It's pretty interesting looking at it. Like somebody mentioned, it is a second generation of the Mr. Freeze ride. The trains look really nice. I mean, the trains look super comfortable. They have those big, bulky shin things, which I do not like. But the seats look really nice and open. It's a boring name. It's called Racing Coaster. It did used to be called the Yamaha Racing Coaster until 2018. And the sponsoring was removed. Yamaha doesn't sponsor it anymore. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. It's a little known, pretty much clone of Mr. Freeze. The coaster is not indoors. The coaster is actually placed outside, but it's located at an indoor theme park. I mean, it starts inside in the station, but it appears that, you know, it starts inside and then it travels outside the building. So, yeah, it's not a 200-foot tall building. That'd be cool, though. Yeah, I sent a link. There's a link to it up there if you want to see it. In the chat. It's in the chat for you. So, yep, that is, that's that. That's our trivia for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed those questions. Oh, it doesn't have a reverse launch? Okay. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Thank you for that info. Yeah, it does look pretty cool. It looks like a cool park for sure. It's very interesting. All right. Yeah, Freeze, Mr. Freeze looks like an awesome ride for sure. And I imagine since this one doesn't have the reverse launch, well, it says shuttle coaster. It says it's a shuttle. Well, yeah, it's a shuttle. Yeah, okay, never mind. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's look at pictures of this park here. Yeah, the park looks awesome, honestly. Looks like a pretty cool place. Some good rides in there. Some of those indoor parks in Dubai look a lot better, though, to be honest. Oh, that's a cool water ride. That's awesome. Yeah, cool little place there. Oh yeah, SeaWorld is getting sued. Thanks for bringing that up, Coaster Hour. SeaWorld is getting sued by a construction company because the construction company that built Emperor apparently hasn't been paid $3.3 million. So, yeah, SeaWorld getting sued again. That's not good. Uh, I'm sure maybe they're having difficulties right now, but I feel like they could pay $3.3 million to this company that they owe for construction. Uh, you've been on Batman and Robin the Chiller? Nice, nice. You've been on both tracks, huh? Was that before or after modification or both? You know, the zero G roll and then the S bend. You know, did you ride the modified version or both? Or one or the other, I should say. Yeah, they do pay a lot of money to take care of their animals, but if they're not able to pay the construction companies that are building their rides, they shouldn't have the rides built. I mean, but let's be honest, they could pay the construction company. I'm pretty, all of those higher ups at the company got these huge bonuses and whatnot about a month or two back. They can pay the construction company for the work that they did. Let's be honest. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, if you're going to build these new attractions, you pay the companies that built them. I mean, it's just common sense. It doesn't look good for SeaWorld. It's not good for them that they have a lawsuit to deal with now. That just makes it way worse. So, my number one bucket list park. That's a really tough question. I would say number one bucket list park. I'm going to list off a few of them because it's hard to pick one, but I will say Energylandia. Actually, Energylandia. I'm going to go with that. Energylandia. I think the zero G rolls on Batman and Robin would have been better. Coaster Hour says, I do wonder if they haven't or aren't paying for Icebreaker and Pantheon. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting to know. They could get themselves into a lot of trouble, into a lot of financial trouble, and they really do not need that right now. So hopefully they just pay the people that constructed the rides. I mean, you know, Energylandia looks amazing. Oh, you rode the original Chiller the first year. Okay, nice. Lil Wayne is the best guitarist. Oh man. No, I did not cover the retheming of Splash Mountain. At I don't know a lot about that, and I don't really want to get into it either. So that's like, it's just such a big, like, I don't know much about it, so I don't want to speak about it. I can see both sides of the argument, and I think maybe it could use a retheme, but I don't know. I'm not really a Disney person. I don't know much about it. I just don't really want to cover that because I just don't know a whole lot about it. So that's just, Oh, they never gave you a notification. That stinks. Maybe it got tired of pushing my notifications to you, after I tried to do this 5 times before. Yeah, Canon in it from Lisaberg, yes. That is going to Lost Island. Yep. Yeah, when Helix came into the park, Helix made Canon irrelevant. So, it makes sense. They took out Kanonen. We already did the news and trivia. I'm sorry. We did already do all that. So we're 29 minutes in right now as it stands. And we got done with trivia about 5 to 7 minutes ago. So Bird. My dog over here, chilling. Let's see if I can. Say hi. Say hi, Oliver. Say hi. What's up, 808 Coaster Life? How's it going? Wes, you good boy? Is you good boy? Say hi. Are you a good boy? Are you a... Stop licking yourself. Hey, bird. There he goes. Everybody say bye to Oliver. He's leaving us. He's probably going back to the bed. Coaster doggy. Yes. What? What are you looking at? They say bye, Oliver. Yes, I talk to my dog. Don't judge me. He's our child. So, Montu, let's see. Jared says Montu looks very overrated and Alpengeist looks very underrated. I kind of agree with that. Although I think Montu may be as good as people say it is. I just have to get to ride it, you know? Let's see. Why Zayden says, trivia for Coaster Daddy, what roller coaster in Cuba has the name of a country that is in another hemisphere? I have no idea. No idea. Yeah, I'm excited for July as well. Hopefully everything goes smooth and hopefully things just go smooth and the parks can stay open for the rest of the season after they open, you know? Do I think Primordial at Lagoon will have a drop track? Well, that's really difficult for me to answer because really I have no idea what it might. I mean, I have ideas in my head of what it could possibly be, but I don't have anything to back those up. I've heard some things. Maybe it'll have a drop track, but I just don't know. I'm excited for whatever it is because that building is huge. I mean, they're putting a lot of work into that, so I think it could be something really cool. So, see, Stanford says Montu in the back left seat is a G-force experience beyond any other coaster I've ridden. Oh, wow. Okay, that's good to hear. All right. I can't wait to ride that. It looks amazing. Especially that Batwing. I'm sure that Batwing is so intense. I know on Afterburn, like, that Batwing, like, I grayed out so hard on that. It was so freaking intense. Such a good ride, too, Afterburn. Yep, Dollywood's opening on Monday. That is true. Coaster Lover says Montu's my #1 invert as well in my personal top 10. So awesome and intense. Yeah, I'm really big on the inverted coasters by B&M. I mean, those are just really, really solid rides. I'm a huge fan of them. And I think Montu, if it's as good or nearly as good as people say it is, like it would probably be my favorite invert in the United States and probably in my top 10 or top 15, maybe. Probably not top 10, but maybe. Who knows? Maybe. I can attest to the Batwing on Montu, one of my favorite coaster elements I've experienced. Yeah, I can only imagine. I'm sure it's so good. Chaos says, I hope Six Flags Great America opens this year. Yeah, it's looking kind of bleak for that park. They might not open this year at all. Like, it's not looking too good for them. I don't know. My coaster count is 96 currently. I was supposed to have many, many new credits now, like well beyond 120 probably at this point, because I was supposed to be just getting done and going back to work tomorrow because I was supposed to be on my road trip that me and my friend were doing this past week. And of course that got canceled But I was going to be riding like over 30 new coasters, and obviously that didn't happen. So yeah, I would have went to Six Flags Great Adventure, Hershey Park, Dorney, Knoebels. Those are all first-time parks for me. We also probably would have hit up Waldemere, Conneaut Lake Park, possibly Kennywood. So okay, Coaster Hour says, just wondering, is it considered rude if you are the first person to go onto a train and you choose to ride in the row closest to the gates? That's the issue with getting left seats. Oh, ride in the seat closest to the gates. Okay. Is it considered rude if you're the first person to go onto a train and you choose to ride in the row closest to the gates? So basically, you'd have to tell people, hey, I want to sit on the outside. You need to go in front of me. I wouldn't say it's rude. I mean, if you demanded it, I would say it's very rude. But I think if you politely ask people, I've had people ask me before, like, hey, can I sit in this seat instead of this one? And I'm like, sure, go ahead. That's fine. You know, even if I did want to sit in the seat, I was just nice. And I'm like, okay, go ahead and take that seat, whatever. I don't think it's rude as long as you go about it the right way, you know? All right, waiting for my chat to catch up. Let's see. Come on. Coaster Lover 2001 says, when or if are you planning to go to Kings Island, Cedar Point, and Kennywood? Cedar Point, hopefully the second day they're open. I can't go opening day, unfortunately. Hopefully the second day for a little while. Kings Island, possibly when it opens. I'm not sure. Kennywood, I don't know if that's going to happen at all. It's not in my plans, but I don't really have any plans for this year. Let's see. Stamford Bridge's favorite inverts. Tied for first are Afterburn, best pacing, Montu, most intense, and Black Mamba, best visual experience. And then tied for most underrated, Great Bear, best night ride, Talon, best example of intensity combined with pure smoothness. Okay, yeah. Talon, to me, looks kind of underrated, and it actually kind of reminds me of, like, a newer generation Batman. Like, what do you think about that? Like, Talon being a modified, like, more modern, like, Batman style layout. That's kind of what it's always reminded me of. But how do you feel about that? Oldest coaster operating in Spain? I do not know. I mean, I've probably seen it before, what it is, but I can't recall what it is right now. I feel like it's maybe like, is it a coaster called Montaña Rusa? Like maybe one of those side friction coasters? Is that what it is? Yeah, July's looking pretty positive for right now. So let's hope things stay on an even level and maybe even like that a little bit, you know? Just you can see the Talon Batman comparison. Okay. Yeah, it's just like it's a similar stature and height, length, the statistics, you know, and it looks like a really intense ride like the Batman clones. Maybe not as intense, but I don't know. Just my thoughts. Oliver. He's back. He's on the couch. We did. 808 Coaster Life says, I've only ridden one invert, and it's not known to be one of the best, and that is Silver Bullet. Yeah, Yeah, Silver Bullet. I mean, it looks like a fun ride, but it just does. It just looks, to be quite honest, it looks boring compared to most of the other inverts. Like, it looks like it's not. It doesn't look boring. It looks like a fun ride, but it just doesn't stack up, in my opinion, against all the other ones. From what I can see, maybe it would really surprise me if I go. Maybe if I rode it, it would really surprise me. All right. Thanks, Stanford Bridge. Thanks for joining and for the generosity. I really appreciate it. Once again. Coaster Hour says, I know the coronavirus numbers are going up, but I don't know if the percentages are because more people are getting tested. So, of course, the numbers will rise. That is a good point. That is a really good point. There's a lot of unknowns out there, too. So it's so hard to, it's such a new thing. We really don't know much about it. So, okay, yeah, and Coaster Hour says this, and I'm sorry if I know I said it was boring, and then I did correct myself. I don't think it looks like a boring ride. I think it looks really fun, actually. But Coaster Hour says Silver Bullet is not boring in the slightest, but it isn't too intense. And that's what I meant. It doesn't look too intense compared to the other ones. I shouldn't have said it. That was a bad choice of words on my part. I think Silver Bullet looks like a great ride, a good supporting coaster for Knott's Berry Farm. So it fits the park well. They made it fit in the park and made it interact with everything, which is really cool. A very underrated element of Busch Gardens Tampa is Kumba's final helix. It's crazy intense. Okay. Oh, guys, I got to get my charger quick. I'll be right back. My laptop's about to die. If it dies, I'll see you guys later. All right, I made it. All right, my laptop has like 10%. Warning just showed up on my computer. Pretty sure it would have turned off soon, so. All right. Rings of Earth says, hey, did you see Canopy Coaster's video on why Canada's Wonderland ended up with flight deck because of Cedar Point? It was interesting. I did watch that video. Very interesting. Excuse me. Very interesting for sure. I actually commented on it too. It's a shame that Canada's Wonderland had to get stuck with an SLC, but I am very grateful that, we have an awesome invert at my home park too. So. Yeah, Canopy Coaster is a great channel. His channel, it's growing pretty nicely, which I'm glad to see. He has a little over 500 subscribers now. He's grown a lot. I'm really glad to see he's getting traction because his channel, he has a lot of experience. He's been on almost 1,000 coasters, so unlike a lot of dopes like me out there, we're talking about all these coasters and, we haven't been on that many. A lot of us can relate to that. But Canopy Coaster has been on almost 1,000, so. Coaster Hour says, who came up with the flight? Yeah, that nickname there. I don't know, but it's great. It seems very fitting. It seems very fitting. You hear the doggy? You hear the doggy? Dog barking outside, and Oliver's starting to growl, so. Certain someone who we do not speak of. Oh, okay. Okay. No need to say anymore. Gotcha. I do recall that now. You hear doggo feet? Yeah. I like the sounds of their little paws clickety clacking it on the floor. This is nice lounging out here while I do the show. You know, having a nice relaxing chat, lounging on the couch. I got the door open, a nice breeze in here. I like this. I like doing this. It's a nice change of pace. Oh, it existed before. Okay. Gotcha. What else can we talk about? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? I know we talked about a lot of the news. There's not really a whole lot else to talk about. I'm looking at Screamscape for maybe some more current updates that I haven't seen yet. Tokyo Joypolis is opening once again. And a judge ruled that Kalahari and Sandusky can reopen immediately. So Kalahari is actually opening back up, apparently. Kalahari Pocono to open soon. Dell's already open, and New Texas Resort opening this fall. Man, Kalahari really wants to get all their places open. They're really pushing it. They're really pushing to get their places open. Oh, of course, Hershey Park announced an opening date too. I never said that. July 3rd, so that's good. Power Park in Finland is testing their new Gerstlauer coaster. Coaster Hour actually sent me a video of this a few days ago. Thank you again for that. But that new Gerstlauer at Power Park in Finland, it has no inversions. It's so weird. It's the same model as Junker, the same exact color scheme, the same trains, but it has no inversions. It's such a weird ride, and it looks amazing. Oh my gosh, it looks amazing. It looks so good. There's some really wicked looking airtime moments. There's one not like overbanked turn, like a wave type of turn, and it looks like the airtime on that is going to be wicked, like wicked ejector airtime. So all right, 808 Coaster Life. 808 Coaster Life says, what coaster concepts would I like to see happen the most? Okay, so I want B&M to do a 4D coaster, like something along the lines of X. It probably wouldn't be as intense, but something like that. I would like to see B&M do a 4D coaster. Is the surf coaster going to be that? Most likely not, but possibly. Who knows? I would like to see B&M also. I want to see B&M break the mold, get out of their comfort zone a little bit. I want to see a multi-launch coaster from B&M. I want to see B&M do like a sort of blitz coaster model, but make the track smaller so they can have 2 people across instead of 4. So that way they can do tighter inversions. I think a big reason B&M isn't able to do a lot of things is because their track is so big and they have such wide cars that they can't maneuver these really tight turns and whatnot. So they've never been able to do any sort of really like blitzy type of coaster. So I feel like if they downsize the track a little bit, make the train smaller, 2 across, they could make a good multi-launch coaster with some like tight twists and turns, you know, sort of like their own blitz coaster. So that'd be great. Let's see. I would like to see, dive coaster track is huge, really, really thick. What other concepts would I like to see? I would like to see more of the Chance Hyper GTXs. That's not a new concept, obviously. I would like to see RMC do a wing coaster. I would like to see that. I think they were actually trying to do that a while back, and maybe they'll bring it back at some point. Because I know they said they wanted to do something in between a T-Rex and the Raptor track. So maybe like a single rail sort of, or some sort of wing coaster. I would like to see a wing coaster from RMC. I would like to see what other concepts? I would be curious to see how B&M does with a wood coaster. For them to build a wooden coaster, I don't think I don't think they should necessarily do that, but I would be curious to see it. Maybe Intamin build a new prefab, but make it more modern, like maybe inversions and stuff like that. So yeah, those are some concepts I want to see. If I think of any more, I'll let you guys know. So yeah, absolutely. B&M needs to break out of their comfort zone, I feel, and do more varied types of layouts. They have tons of different models, but they need to change their layouts a little bit. Put some new life into them, you know? Like I said, if they could make more compact layouts, I think that would help them a lot, for sure. Yeah, I agree. Coaster Hour. That's the main reason I don't think they should build a wooden coaster. It would be horrid probably because the trains would be so heavy. You know, probably when I know B&M built the wooden coaster trains for Cyclone at Six Flags Magic Mountain. So those were awful. Those were terrible from what I heard. Uh, did you see my comment on Airtime Thrills newest video? It's the most liked comment on that video. I don't know if I did. I might have. Not sure. Meet up at a park. Yeah, so honestly, I don't know if I want to do that this year. I might possibly try to do a meetup like at Cedar Point at some point. No pun intended. At some point, I might try to do something there, but I don't know. I feel like the way things are going this year, this probably isn't, even though I really would like to do it, I really would. This might not be the year for that. If you guys see me at the parks, absolutely come up to me and say hi. I would love to talk to you. But I don't know if I'm going to be doing any sort of meetup, you know. I know some of your guys' home parks are Cedar Point, or you live fairly close to Cedar Point. So if you're ever there and you see me or any other park, feel free to come up and say hi. I would love to meet you in person. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do a meetup this year. Yeah. My friend Chris, yeah, I saw him once, like back in January, I believe, January or February. January, I saw him, and we text all the time. I mean, we're always talking. So, yeah, that's my friend Chris. You know, I talk to him all the time. He's doing pretty good, so I'll let him know you guys asked. So. Well, the thing about the meetup, not only like the environment of everything going on, but I don't know if I'm comfortable doing that personally, you know? So yeah. I don't know if we should put his last name in here because I don't know if he would want us to, you know, I mean, his last name, you can find it. I mean, it's not hard to find, but I don't think we should like, um, publicize, you know, like, oh, here's his last name, go look him up. I don't want to do that. So yeah, Chris from Airtime Thrills. I mean, I know what his last name is. It's not really hard to find, but um, I'm not gonna post it here. That's not gonna do that. Yeah, that's weird. I'm not doing that. I'm going to look up a POV of that new Futuroscope coaster because I'm really curious about that. So I'm going to look that up right now and watch it. Yep, Adventureland is getting a free spin. It's pretty much confirmed. I mean, it's not really confirmed, but it is. Yeah, let's see. Futuroscope. Objectif Mars. Looks like such a cool ride. All right, let's check this out. Cool theming. I like the theming here. It's very nice. And we're taking off now. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's dark inside, so it's kind of hard to see everything. Oh, here we go. This is cool. Look at that. That is cool. An outer bank kind of straight track element. Oh, here we go. Going outside. Got a propelled tire drive system. And we're hitting a tire launch, it looks like. Yep, here we go. Hands up. Oh, this looks cool. This is fun. There's some really nice interaction, like with the walkways and the building and all of the queue line. It goes over and around the queue line. That is cool. Yeah, it's a very mild coaster, you know, a family style coaster, kind of like a mock multi-launch. Some really exciting concepts coming out. That's a cool ride. That is really cool. Oh, drop track. Okay. Yeah. Objectif Mars. Yeah. Really cool looking ride for sure. I would love to check that out. My most missed roller coaster that I've ridden, my most missed coaster, Big Dipper at Geauga Lake. Really, I wish I could get one more ride on that so bad. Big Dipper was such a good ride. Really, I've talked about it a lot on here, and it's really unfortunate what happened to the whole park, but especially that ride. If they could have just saved that ride and even just kept it where it was as a standalone attraction, like that would have been so cool. But such an unfortunate loss. That was a really good ride with great airtime. Really miss Big Dipper. Great memories on that ride for sure. Oh, also Whitewater Landing at Cedar Point. I love Whitewater Landing. My favorite log flume I've ever been on. Such a good ride. Really miss that. Let's see. Coaster Lover says, do you think Cedar Point could pull off being open in November and April? And Kings Island being open in January, February, and March? No, those would not be good moves. For Cedar Point, it's pretty much it's not a good move whatsoever with the harsh winters. Northeast Ohio, not a good plan. There's definitely a good reason they don't do that. Yeah, the spinning Jesus coaster is no more, which is really unfortunate. Cool looking ride. Cool looking ride for sure. Dog fart coaster or spinning Jesus? Dog fart coaster, I have to say. Sorry, spinning Jesus. Ugh. Let's see, set this up. Yeah, so this is an awkward angle, I suppose. Coaster Hours team spinning Jesus. Okay. It's all good. It's all good. They are planning on Carowinds to be a year-round park. Where did you hear that at? Where'd you hear about Carowinds being a year-round park? That'd be interesting. Rings of Earth says is Six Flags going to add a new addition to every park in 2021, or the parks that had their 2020 edition pushed back will not get a new edition? Will they just have that as a 2021 edition? Yeah, I think a lot of the editions are going to be pushed back to 2021. I don't know. Yeah, Coaster Hour, I agree. I think the year-round Carowinds operation seems unlikely. I don't know if there's rumors going around about that, but I'm pretty sure nothing's been said by Cedar Fair about that. So correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, Sidewinder Safari 2021. It's good they're still getting that, I guess. So. Okay, Too Scared to Ride Hyper says, pretty sure I've heard the year-round thing too, but I couldn't tell you where. I think maybe people are discussing that, but yeah, Carowinds does have Winterfest. They do. Yeah, I would guess it's probably rumors going around, if anything. Like I said, I don't really know, but... Why would they go year-round? I mean, if they're able to, it'd probably be good for business because they'd have a year-round revenue stream, so they could make more money if enough people would come during the off season, Okay, Coaster Venture says, I'll send you the link when I find it. Oh, yeah, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think the Carolinas do get really harsh winters, as far as I know. It's nothing like, nothing like here in Ohio, I'm sure. So maybe they could pull it off. I don't know. Perhaps. Maybe have like limited rides in the off season or something like that. I don't know. It's possible, I suppose. Classic Sinatra. Thing number of opera. Let's see. Coaster Mania says, but don't they already have limited rides in Winterfest? They do. They do. A Coaster Lover says, I'm so excited for next year, 2021, to come, but we're barely halfway through this year, 2020. Yeah. Coaster Hour says, Iron Gwazi, according to a construction worker who talked to a manager, is said to be opening in September. Seems pretty realistic. I heard that somewhere too. So that'd be cool if it does open this year. Let's see. Rings of Earth says, and Dollywood was open for the Christmas season. You went there during Christmas time. Do you think they could be open year round? Dollywood is only closed for like 2 months. So Dollywood is almost a year-round park, and I'm sure they could manage to stay open all year. But I think having like 2 months to work with is kind of nice for them because those 2 months probably wouldn't get a whole lot of attendance anyway. And that gives them time to like get the park ready, to have a period where they're closed so they can take care of things so they don't have to close things when the park is open, So that is kind of nice in a way. And it's only 2 months. It's only a little over 2 months that they're closed out of the year. So what coaster do I think Cedar Point will get next? I'm going to say B&M Flyer. I'll go with the B&M Flyer. Coaster Hour says, last year, 27 new credits for me. So far this year, 0. Yeah, at this time last year, I had over 20 new credits as well, actually. So, hey, TRNM, what's up? How you doing? Coaster Mania says, by the way, Cedar Point will not get Winterfest because all their buildings can't be heated. Well, even taking that out of the equation, it just wouldn't make sense, I don't think. So, yeah, I believe you're definitely right about that. Coaster Hour says, I think at best I'll get 1 or 2 new credits before year's end, and that's being optimistic. Yeah, well, let's hope you can at least get a few. That'd be nice. Hopefully I get a few as well. Kind of the same with me. If I go to Kings Island, I can hopefully ride Orion, and I actually don't have the Flying Ace Aerial Chase credit from there because the line has always been too long when I went, and I'm like, I'm not waiting in that. But I could potentially get that credit too if I go to Kings Island. Yeah, so. And hopefully I get to like 1 or 2 new parks. That'd be nice. Like Indiana Beach, maybe, Oh, TRNM, good to hear. TRNM says, doing great. Took your advice from last stream and got a toner TC777 mic. I've actually heard of that brand, and I think they have some pretty decent affordable microphones. So I'm glad you made the move, and let us know when you start making your content. I can't wait to check it out. So let's see. West Coaster and West Coast Racers are the ones I'm looking at. Okay. All right. Nice. Yeah, those are seem fairly attainable for you where you live. For winter chill out, they do temporary heating. And good to know. Okay, I didn't know that. All right. I've never been to winter chill out. Coaster Venture says, can't find it, but in the video, Pat Jones talks about how Charlotte's an up-and-coming city and how they're planning on making it a resort destination park with more hotels and being open for winters. I did know that they're trying to make Carowinds like a resort destination because they're building hotels and stuff like that. So, maybe there is something to that. Maybe they'll try to do that, or at least maybe have less of an off-season. Less of an off-season. Who knows? What was Logan from Coaster Kids and Thrills United's first coaster? I have no idea. It was probably the junior coaster at Kings Island. The steel, the Great Pumpkin Coaster. I'm going to say that because that's his home park. Let's see. Coaster Venture says, I think it makes sense. That's why they've invested so heavily in Carowinds over the past 10 years. Well, yeah, they've publicly stated that they actually did want to make Carowinds like their new flagship park. They were going to move the headquarters of Cedar Fair to Charlotte. I don't know if they're still doing that, but they were going to move the headquarters, at least at one point, from Sandusky to Charlotte. So they've invested a lot into Carowinds, and they really want to build that park up, which is nice to see. It's good to see because 10 years ago, Carowinds had nothing. I mean, Carowinds was not a very good park. They had one good coaster, basically. Really wasn't worth driving all the way out there besides Afterburn, you know. All right, see you, Coaster Mania. All right, see you, Coaster Hour. Thank you. Thank you. See you, 808. Good to see you, too. TRNM says currently editing a bucket list video. Should be out tomorrow. Awesome. Flying Ace Aerial Chase. Okay. As more parks start to open, do you think they will be crowded? Or will people be scared to go? I think people are going to be hesitant at first. So TRNM says, would that be a smart move to move the headquarters to North Carolina? I mean, I'm sure they thought a lot about that. And if they do that, I'm sure it'll work out good for them. Carowinds is a very nice up-and-coming park. So it could be like the new Cedar Point at some point in the future, you know? I mean, it's certainly like, it's kind of like the Cedar Point of the South, you know, in a way. The coaster lineup isn't quite there yet. They have a lot of work to do, but they're getting there. Yeah, Intimidator opened in 2010, but, you know, 10 years ago before Intimidator opened, there wasn't much of a reason to go there, so... Yeah, I know. Yeah, guys. I'm aware Intimidator opened in 2010, but okay, 11 years. We'll say 11 years, but you get what I'm saying. Like, just barely over a decade ago, there wasn't much of a reason to go there besides Afterburn, which is a great coaster. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't that great of a park overall, it seems. So. Okay, Atomic Coasters brings up a good point. He says it makes more sense that their headquarters is in Sandusky since it's you know, Cedar Point is right there and it's fairly close to Canada's Wonderland and Kings Island, and those are their three biggest parks. Yeah, that's a good point. That does make a lot of sense. So maybe they'll keep their main headquarters in Sandusky. That's a very good point. I think they should keep them in Sandusky. Just does make more sense, I guess. I like seeing headquarters when I go to Cedar Point. I kind of do too. It's kind of cool. It's like, wow, this is like the headquarters, you know, for the whole company. It's kind of cool. So, I mean, it's their flagship park, you know. Let's see. What do you think of California's Great America before 2013 when they added Gold Striker? That's kind of a similar type of situation. I feel like there wasn't like really any good reason to go there. Well, they had Flight Deck. I mean, and it's kind of a similar thing. Like, they did have one really good coaster, I think, that I can think of, and it was a B&M invert as well. But besides that, you know, Paramount didn't do much good for those parks. So let's see. Where exactly in Sandusky or Cedar Point is Cedar Fair's headquarters? They have a bunch of buildings in Cedar Point that are like, the general public obviously can't go into them, but they're like in the back or near the front of the park, like kind of the middle of the, go down the main midway, and there's a bunch of buildings and there's a bunch of trees around them and stuff, like in front of Corkscrew and off to the side of like where the Melt and stuff like that is by the beach. Those buildings there, a lot of those are like headquarter buildings. Yeah, over by Hotel Breakers. Exactly. Yeah. So, okay. See, Canada's Wonderland had one good coaster before Cedar Fair took over. Yeah, that's pretty much how it was with every single Paramount park. They had like one or maybe two good coasters, and all the other ones were just like throwaway or flat out bad rides. So, I mean, same with Kings Island. Kings Island had the Beast and the Bat, and besides that, I mean, they had Flight of Fear, which is a good supporting coaster. Racer's pretty good. Adventure Express is a good mine train, but you know, it wasn't like it is now. So let's see. Do you think that after the every 2-year system of coasters at Cedar Point, we could see a coaster drought after 2020? They've already kind of started to adjust their model, so they're only going to be getting a new coaster like every 3 to 4 years at the major parks instead of every 2 to 3 years. So we're kind of already seeing that. They're going more towards more of a family-oriented direction in Cedar Fair because they're seeing that they can get a much better return on investment with a lot of those additions. It's like they can spend way less money and in some cases get a much better return on that investment. So it just makes more sense business-wise for them to do that. Yeah, but Son of Beast wasn't a good ride. It was a terrible disaster. It was garbage. I mean, the way it was built, it was garbage, you know. See here. Yep, July 3rd, Candemonium is open as well as Hershey Park. Yes, Gary, that is correct. Taking reservations. That's so good to hear. So good to hear, honestly. Let's see. Coastal Lover says I might go to Kings Island during Winterfest this year. I hope to make it there as well. I wanted to last year, but I didn't make it. Atomic Coaster says if RMC finds a way to work in Canada, do you expect them to be able to retrofit Mighty Canadian Mindbuster since it's under a water park? They definitely would be able to, I'm sure. But I don't think they're going to like build headquarters in Canada or anything. It just wouldn't make any business sense for them to do that. It costs way too much money. So hopefully they can like have another company construct for them, and hopefully eventually Canada's Wonderland will get that RMC treatment. TRNM says I'm hoping Iron Quasi isn't delayed to 2021. I agree. And Cedar Point open yet? No, they open July 9th for pass holders. Yeah, Orion is opening with Kings Island on July 2nd, as far as we know. As far as we know. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they are. That Orion is opening with the park. Do I think some parks' opening dates will be delayed? Like, they're already delayed openings. Do I think they'll be delayed even further? I hope not. I don't think so. But who knows? Everything changes so quickly. So, all right, guys. Well, I think we're pretty much about ready to wrap up here. We've talked about a lot, and thanks for all you guys who stuck with me after what I dealt with earlier. This is the 6th time that we've done this, so I'm glad I could actually do the show today because it almost didn't happen. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys next time. hopefully I'll have a new video coming out in the next few days. I haven't really started working on one yet. I'm trying to take my time with the next video and just think of a good idea. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. I'll probably do another live stream at some point, hopefully. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you next time. So you guys take care. All right.